Welcome back to One Fair Review, everybody. I'm your host, Grant Kill Me Slowly Anderson. And well, today is a good day. As any day, we talk about anime, and the winter season comes to a close. So do we, with Kaguya-Sama Love is War. Don't worry, it's not the last review of the winter season. I still got more up my sleeve. So let's jump into this slice of life comedy. The story goes as follows. At the renowned Seiyuchin Academy, Miyuki Shidogami and Kaguya Shinomiya are the student body top representatives. Ranked the top student in the nation and respected by the peers and mentors alike, Miyuki serves as the student council president. Alongside him, the vice president Kaguya, eldest daughter of the wealthy Shinomiya family, excels in every field imaginable. They are the envy of the entire student body, regarded as a perfect couple. However, despite both having already developed feelings for the other, neither are willing to admit it. The first to confess loses, will be looked down upon, and will be considered the lesser. With their honor and pride at stake, Miyuki and Kaguya are both equally determined to be the one to emerge victorious on the battlefield of love. Starring Koga Aoi as Shinomiya Kaguya, Furukara Makomoto as Shidogame Miyuki, Kohara Konami as Fujiwara Chika, and lastly but not finally, Suzuki Ryota as Ishigami Yu. Alright, so let's just get right into this show. The show's story is fantastic. Now, like I just said, the story is about these two people who have fallen in love with each other, but they're so arrogant they're not willing to tell the other one. In the show, it's pretty much the premise of, hey, let's try to get the other one to confess love to me first, and then it will be perfect. I won't be looked down upon. It's a very weird concept, and I remember when it was first pitched to me, I didn't know about this show at first. It took me a couple days to finally watch it, but the way it was pitched to me was exactly how I'm going to tell you guys. Imagine if two Gilgameshes just fell in love with each other, but none of them wanted to admit that they loved each other because they were so arrogant. That's essentially how the show was pitched off to me. I'm not even joking, that's how somebody told me. This is how the show is. It's as if two Gilgameshes were in love. And hey, watching the show, you kind of get that feeling, of course, but it is different in the fact that they're not horribly arrogant assholes like Gilgamesh. Otherwise, I did really love the characters of Kaguya and Shidogame, which, for the life of me, I never remembered his name. I do remember his name. I do, but I always remembered him as Kaicho, because that's what they always call him, the vice president, or president. They always call him president. So I always just remembered, oh yeah, Kaicho. That's a great character, but no, his name is Shidogame, and I don't know, I've never really heard his name. They all call him Kaicho, which, okay, it's a little funny thing, but other than that, I really love these characters. They were all very, very likable, very interesting in their own right. There's a little bit more characters in there, but for the most part, the show focuses really on only two people, and at most 4 people. The 4 people being the 4 people of the Student Body Council. It's very funny that this takes place at like this really uptight academy school. I don't know why, it's a funny concept, and the fact that the people who are in love are just like ultra smart people who have made it big in life. It almost makes me jealous because I never did that, but besides that, I did really like the concept behind that. And I love the concept behind the whole love is war type deal, not to quote the title, but I did love that concept, the fact that neither of them were willing to confess. Now, a lot of the time, I actually hate that trope, where in an anime, there's somebody who's fallen in love with somebody else, and the other one loves them, and they're never willing to admit it, and they're never willing to confess. It always drives me crazy, mainly because get it over with, goddammit, I'm sick of it. That's one of the things I actually had a problem with My Hero Academia, where one of the main characters loves the other one, but is just too shy to say anything. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but it's just something that gets annoying after a while. Here, I'm okay with it a lot more, especially because I love the characters so much, and the concept's so funny. And that's the thing about this show, it's a comedy. You're not supposed to take it seriously at all. It's straightforward comedy. And is it good as a comedy? It's fantastic. This show had me laughing all the way. Some shows will maybe start off kind of slow and then get really funny. Others will end very serious. But this one, it both ends seriously, but also ends very funny. I really have to commend this show on its comedy. There's a lot of stuff that I found in it to be really funny, not just with the main characters, but all the side characters. Fujiwara is in particularly a very funny character in that she's a very cutesy character, which everybody grew to like, but then towards the end, everybody kind of gets annoyed with her, and I got annoyed with her too. In fact, that time she became an evil person that you wanted to stop. And I really liked her character. She wasn't a bad person at all, but she was selfish, and I liked it. I thought she was kind of funny a lot of the time. She had a lot of funny lines in there, and she had some great, cutesy moments. But the show really isn't filled with that many cutesy moments, even though it does have cute stuff in it. Ishigami, which is one of the best characters in anime, is this loner, of course, who's really smart and at times is underplayed, and it doesn't get used as often as I'd like, but every time he is used, I actually really enjoyed his character. He doesn't have much of a character, but he is a very funny one. Now, like I said, the show focuses on two people, Kaguya and Shirogame. Both of these characters are very good. It mostly focuses on Kaguya, considering that her name is in the title, Kaguya-Sama. So, I mean, it does focus on her a lot more, and I really did enjoy her character a lot. I felt bad for her at times, and I cheered her on a lot of the time. And like I said, it focuses more on her more than Shirogame. So that is one thing to take away. She's probably the main character of the show. Most definitely, she is. And the story does have an evolution from when it began, which is always good to know. I hate it when a story just goes nowhere or just continues. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just keeps on going and leaves it up to your imagination. Now, this show is going to have a season 2, by the way they ended it. I can't imagine them saying, no, there's not going to be a season 2, but it is one of those open-ended, yeah, it's kind of an ending, but not really, more of a cliffhanger type of deal. So if that's a turn-off, well, that's a turn off for you. But personally, I don't mind it. I found the story to be very enjoyable, the story to be very simple, the simpleness of trying to get the other one to confess love to the other. It's great. I love the two butting heads of these really smart people, but at the same time, they're so big-headed and so arrogant that it's like they're kind of stupid at times. So I really did I enjoyed seeing that dynamic come about in this show all the way through. Moving on to the presentation of the show, the animation is very nice. It's very nice looking, very gorgeous at times. It's got some great animation in here, a lot of fluid movement. There's even that one very memed, very popular dance scene with Fujiwara, which is a very, very well animated scene. Other than that, it also just has fluid animation all around, and it's a very good looking show, and I love the design of the characters. All of them worked very well. In terms of soundtrack, the soundtrack is also very good, very memorable. I love the soundtrack behind it all. The little music cues in the background are always fun and engaging to listen to, and it really does get you, I don't want to say hyped, but excited for the next movement, which that's essentially the same word, so I'm an idiot for saying that, but if you guys know what I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. It gets you excited for what's going to happen in the show. I also love the intro. The intro is a very weird intro, or very stylized intro. I really loved it. It was a great sounding one. Other than that, I don't really have too much to say about the soundtrack other than it was very well done, and out of all the shows I've watched this season, it's probably the most memorable one that I've seen. Not the most, but one of the most memorable, I guess you could say. I really enjoyed the soundtrack, personally. So kind of going to wrap up my thoughts. In terms of the story, like I said, I already loved it. I love the dynamic between the two main characters, Kaguya and Shirogame. All of them worked very well. I loved seeing the narrator, hearing the narrator each time explain what's going on and explaining the move of all the characters. He did a great job, which I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't include him in my cast roll that I always read off. I really should. If I don't, I'll probably add it in the editing portion. But he did a great job, and he has a terrific sounding voice, and he's just awesome. He's just the announcer of the show. I really loved every moment he came on. And as for the characters, I thought they were all engaging. I thought they were all funny. I thought they were all likable, and that's a great thing to know. It's always great to have a cast of very likable, very funny characters in a comedy show. Presentation is solid. I love the presentation of the show. The animation was great. The soundtrack was great. All of it was top notch. So when you got a bunch of things that are great about a show, how can I not give the final verdict of this show a 10 out of 10? Now, I know this review is a bit shorter than usual. That's mainly because I don't feel well, and I'm sorry that I still don't feel well. I'm still trying to get over this sickness, but I just had to review this show. I really love this show. It just ended a few days ago, and I can't wait for more to come. I can't wait to see more of it. I really enjoyed it. I love the voice actors behind it. They're all talented. I loved all the characters, and I love the story. It's not a perfect show, mind you, but for me, this is a 10 out of 10. Really enjoyable, really solid. I do recommend it for everybody to watch. Well, maybe not everybody, but anybody who watches this video and thinks and says to themselves, hey, I might be interested, I definitely recommend for you to check it out. Well, anywho, thank you guys for joining me. I'm Grant for One for Review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys can watch this show, and I hope you guys enjoyed our channel as of late. Sorry for being so late. It was 2 weeks, but I am still getting over a sickness right now, and I'm probably going to take a break after this video. You might not see a video in a while. That's mainly because I am still sick, unfortunately. So until next time, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Please let me know down in the comments below. Have you seen the show? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you never want to see it? Do you not care about it? Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. Anyways, as always, I'm Grant for One for Review. I'll see you next time. As always, have a nice day.